Our first guest tonight is an Emmy-winning actor and rapper. You know him from Girls and Venom and lots of other stuff. His new movie, The Sound of Metal, opens in theaters November 20th and premieres on Amazon Prime Video December 4th. And this is his album. It's called The Long Goodbye. Please welcome Riz Ahmed. Hello, Riz.
Hey, Jimmy, how you doing?
How are you?
I'm good, thank you. It's good to virtually see you.
Your home is very white and clean and shiny. It's beautiful.
Yeah, I like to. I'm a bit of a germaphobe now, so this is how I'm living.
Where are you right now? You look like you're in an Apple commercial.
Yeah, I'm in LA.
Oh, you are? Okay.
Yeah, I just made it here. I've got to say, I thought that LA would be a better place to be.
I know.
Lockdown and Corona and everything than the UK.
Yeah.
Being a bit sunnier, a bit more outdoorsy. But you guys are going through a situation here.
Yeah. Yes, we are. Yes. Yeah, there's
all happening.
A lot of people working very hard to fight those fires there. Did you not know about that? Were you unaware of that back in the UK?
Well, they started, I'm pretty much just as kind of I landed.
Gotcha.
So I kind of got to LA, ready to kind of like walk around outside, and then the sky was on fire.
Yeah, yes, it is. Yeah.
Kind of apocalyptic. So that was intense. But yeah, hopefully they managed to get it under control, and hopefully it's a kind of a wake-up call for all of us about.
Oh, it won't be.
It
won't be. We'll just keep doing the same stupid things over and over and over again. That's the spirit of the United States, is what it is. But let's talk about happy. Oh, by the way, how was your flight? Like, were there people on your flight?
It was kind of surreal, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there were a couple of people on the flight, and it was kind of strange because they were serving food, but there was no. They were serving it, like kind of serving it, but not. So
that's every flight I've ever been on.
Right, exactly. So you never were quite sure where the boundaries were. And usually, obviously, the staff are so friendly, but it was their first flight back, actually, for a lot of the crew. So it was this kind of mutual dance of suspicion and mistrust, like most of my relationships. So it was a comfort zone for me in a way.
Did you get nuts? Did they give you nuts?
They did give me nuts.
They did, all right.
Nice to know they're still nuts, so it's all okay.
Also like a lot of relationships, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I'm glad you made it safely, and I'm glad you're here. Hopefully the fires will clear up soon. How long were you at home? Were you cooped up? Were you by yourself? What was your situation?
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of intense, but I mean, I was lucky in that I could socially distance. I could, shelter at home. Obviously, a lot of people were out working. They had to work. So I was very grateful for that, and grateful to the key workers that were out there doing their thing.
Yes.
And as you know, in the UK, we'd come out every Thursday night and everyone would clap, and it was very moving. But I have to say, yeah, I was losing it a little bit. Particularly, I don't know if you're anything like me, you're always on the go. So when you're forced to stop and sit with yourself, that's when you have to kind of face all your demons, really, all the stuff you're running away from by running around working the whole time.
What demons?
It got kind of psychological, yeah.
What demons did you face? I mean, what was did you have people in the house? Do you have pets? Did you have anyone?
Yeah, well, I didn't get Overlook Hotel or anything. It wasn't too intense.
Yeah.
But I was thinking about getting a dog at one point.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people got these COVID dogs.
Right, yeah.
But I felt like that would be a good idea for a week, and then it would be a hassle.
Yeah.
So instead, I got a robot vacuum cleaner. You got one of those? It's really good, honestly. If you're thinking about getting a dog, you're feeling a little bit like things are quiet at home. You want a pet. You don't like the mess, get one of those because it cleans up after itself and after you as well.
Instead of getting hair on the rug, it takes hair off of the rug. That's nice.
Exactly. It's perfect.
How about your parents? How are your parents doing? They live in London, correct?
They do, yeah, they do. I don't live too far from them, actually, which was good. It was good to be able to go and check in on them. But I was on some, I don't know, it's like, I thought I was kind of being this heroic son and looking out for my aging parents. I'd go over there to drop off like fruit and veg, and they'd open the door with like ready cooked 3-course meals in like Tupperware. Like, here you go. It's a classic Asian mom kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I was going there to try and take care of them, but even in this situation, they couldn't help but try and
you bring food
take
and
care of me, which
come home with more food than you brought.
Yeah, it was really not what I had, been planning on.
I saw on Instagram you lost a couple of family members, your aunt and uncle, to COVID, right?
Yeah, that's right.
And your uncle seemed like he was a character and a great guy based on what I saw.
Yeah, he was. His name was Shaquille. And, so it was on my dad's side and my mum's side, an aunt and an uncle. And both of them, had really eventful lives. Growing up in the UK at a time that was maybe slightly less tolerant and making their way through that, making a success of their lives, but both of them ultimately kind of turning towards faith. And my uncle in particular, Shaquille Mamu, if you look photos of him when he came over, he is wearing silk shirts, like coming down to here with open necks and medallions and the flares. And then he went on to become a banker and was working at a bank that was really trying to provide support to the immigrant community, really. And then after that, he became a preacher. So he really had the gift of the gab, between kind of being kind of a teddy boy, working in banking sales, and then kind of almost being a door-to-door kind of preacher. He always had jokes and stuff. And I think about there's this video from his 60th birthday with his twin brother, Javed, and he gave this beautiful speech and he said, look, I hope all your dreams come true to everyone here. And if they do, I hope you don't mind sharing a little bit. And that was his vibe, He always had a little joke. But when I think about where we are as a species right now, I feel like his words are ringing in my ears. A lot of the challenges that we're facing are ones that we share. And our way out of them is also through kind of sharing resources or healthcare, Yeah. So, his spirit is kind of, is with me, I think, as I kind of move forwards.
Did he get a kick out of your career, your music career, your acting career?
He did, yeah. He did, I think. I mean, he was kind of interesting because he always kept you grounded. So he'd say, hey, listen, I saw this thing. Oh, it's pretty cool. It's pretty good. But like, have you been praying recently?
Oh.
There's always that kind of angle of like, oh, yeah, you're right. Actually, I've got to stay grounded. I've got to remember what really matters. But he was just always full of jokes. And I think a lot of people think of faith. And also, sadly, I think possibly in America, a lot of people might associate Islam with a stern kind of faith. But
right, yeah.
To me, he was just the most compassionate, loving, funny guy and a man of faith, and a kind of faith that I think we could all do with.
Well, I'm sorry you lost him. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, I want to talk about this new movie and your album, which is an album you released, unfortunately, in March. Riz Ahmed is with us. We'll be back with more with Riz after this. We are back with Riz Ahmed. Tim McGraw is on the way. Are you familiar with the music of Tim McGraw, Riz?
I'm familiar with that Taylor Swift song about Tim McGraw.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you ever listen to country music growing up?
I didn't, It's not huge in Northwest London, weirdly,
right.
But maybe a gap in the market there.
How did you get involved in hip-hop music? Like, how old were you when you discovered it, and how?
I discovered it through my big brother. Like a lot of things.
Yeah.
And a lot of things good and bad. And my brother would, bootleg all these cassettes and say, make sure you don't listen to these because they've got swearing on them. So, of course, as soon as he'd leave the house, I'd be just memorizing all the verses. And to be honest, I was quite a hyperactive kid. So I just liked being able to run the motor mouth kind of exercise of memorizing, reciting these lyrics. But it kind of got me into trouble at school a little bit.
What cassettes did he have?
Oh, man, like it was all those early 90s kind of stuff. Nas, Biggie, Snoop's first album, but Hieroglyphics, but also some of that kind of darker horror rap, which I got a kick out of as a kid, like Gravediggers.
I see.
Just like really kind of graphic stuff.
Yeah. And you would do this at school?
Yeah, exactly. We were at a science museum trip, and they were like, this is a recording studio, and you guys can all go in and record your voices and send a message to your mom or whatever. I went in there, 10, 11 years old, and I started spitting these horrific Gravediggers, Wu-Tang kind of bars. Landed me in detention pretty quickly. Yeah.
Yeah, I would imagine that wouldn't go over great with mom or with the faculty at the school, yeah. Well, this is the album. The album is, as I mentioned, you released it in March, which is unfortunate timing-wise, but it's called The Long Goodbye, and it is about The story that was really like the big story of March before COVID hit, Brexit, right? Oh, no, your personal Brexit. Yeah.
I mean, I guess the album is a breakup story.
Yeah.
And it's about going through a breakup with your country. And so that's a story that I think people in the UK can relate to. A lot of people in the US feel like they're going through a breakup with the country they love. It's no longer the country they recognize. I've had people hitting me up from India, the Philippines, Hungary. I think this is quite a tumultuous time. So a lot of people feel like, whoa, I'm kind of breaking up with this country, or it's breaking up with me. And so the album goes through the story of that breakup, that anger, denial, bargaining, grief, depression, and at the end coming through with a kind of self-love. So it kind of tells that story, and we got some great guests on there that help us tell that story. People like Mahershala Ali and Mindy Kaling and Yara Shahidi, they're all my kind of friends that are helping me through this breakup.
Yeah.
So it really kind of tells that story.
Riz, I didn't know that it was a metaphor, and so when I was listening to the album, I was like, oh my God, whoever this girl he was dating is going to be really mad when she hears this album.
She's already mad. Britannia is kind of pissed.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's that. But I think, you know, with any breakup, it's only heartbreaking because you really care about the place and you're both invested in the relationship. So hopefully, you know, I mean, on both sides of the Atlantic, we can go through some couples counseling and come out the other side with these countries and relationships intact.
Now you have this new movie coming out called Sound of Metal, and it's interesting. I saw the trailer. It looks really, really, really good. Who is the director of this film?
It's an amazing first-time director, actually, called Darius Marder. And he's written on some amazing films before, like Blue Valentine is the first one he's directed. And it's a movie with a lot of heart, you know. It's got a very particular kind of sound design. The character I play, Ruben, goes through a process of hearing loss through the film. And so the sound design is created to immerse you in that experience of his hearing loss. And I guess I should also say that the whole movie is captioned so that hearing audiences and non-hearing audiences, deaf, hard of hearing audiences, can all experience Ruben's journey. And then the film is equally accessible to all audiences. You
play a punk rock drummer. Do you know how to play the drums? Did you know how to play the drums before the movie?
I did not.
You did not?
I thought I had rhythm until I started working with metal drummers. The intention initially was that I would be a metal drummer. It became very clear very quickly that even with my 3-hour lessons every day for 7 months, I'm not going to become a metal drummer. It's just so technical. So we kind of downgraded it, well, not downgraded it, but made it slightly less technical style of drumming. But my drum teacher, Guy Licata, was incredibly patient above all. I enjoyed it, yeah.
You enjoyed it, and you learned sign language as well making the movie.
I did, yeah. I did, because of Ruben's journey is kind of an introduction to deaf culture.
Right.
And so my sign instructor, my friend Jeremy Lee Stone, we would just kind of, again, spend that 7 months just spending hours together every day and introducing me to friends and members of that community and just exposing me to the richness of deaf culture.
Well, we have the brand new trailer for Sound of Metal. Have you seen the trailer yet?
I haven't seen the latest trailer.
Okay.
I saw a really rough one ages ago, so I'm excited to check it out.
Well, you will see what Riz was talking about sound design. Pay close attention. This is the new Amazon original movie, Sound of Metal, coming to theaters November 20th and on Prime Video December 4th. Thank you, Riz.
Your hearing is deteriorating rapidly.
We'll come back. Till then, Lou, we just keep going, okay?
No.
Lou.
No.
You have to understand, your first responsibility is to preserve the hearing you have.
I can't hear you. Do you understand me? I can't. I'm deaf. I'm deaf.
I found a place.
I think it's important that you stay here with us right now, Ruben. We're looking for a solution to this. Not this.
I need you to wait for me. You're my part. You're it for me. You gotta wait for me. trying to save my life.
Ruben, the world does keep moving. It can be a damn cruel place. But those moments of stillness, when this crappy, mundane world suddenly becomes radiant and magnificent, all the fear is gone. That place will never abandon you.
Thanks for watching, and remember, every time you click the subscribe button, one of your enemies gets destroyed.